Recognize Senator Rounds at the conclusion of my questions. Senator Rounds, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, thank you to all of you for appearing before us today. As a consumer, I look at these and I say, okay, there's got to be an opportunity here. There's a reason why we have millions of people that are currently participating in these transactions using the products and services that you provide. At the same time, it seems to me that we have a regulatory responsibility to make sure that the illicit uses of these types of services are limited. We're challenged because in the United States, as we regulate, certain organizations may very well simply move outside of the United States, move elsewhere. If I'm a consumer, why would I want, and I'll direct this first of all to Mr. Disparte, if I'm a consumer, why would I want to use your service as opposed to that of a Visa using dollars as the currency?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. So part of what Circle's innovations are providing, bearing in mind that our direct customer are typically businesses and we don't work with retail consumers, but nonetheless, part of the infrastructure that we're supporting today is enjoyed by more than 20 million people in the United States and 200 million people worldwide, for whom the price of access or the cost of access to things like international remittances, payments, money transfers, both domestic and foreign, and then candidly, access to the capital markets have been prohibitive, right? On the one hand, if to be banked hinges on brick and mortar infrastructure, then there will be hundreds of millions of people around the world, if not billions, who will consistently be left on the margins. So
let me cut to the chase on this then. So what you're suggesting is that there is an economic benefit to someone because the costs of actually executing the transaction are less, I'm going to say on average, for yours than what it would be for someone through the traditional brick and mortar processors. Is that the marketing that's being done?
That's part of what the ultimate opportunity is. For example, in the remittance use cases, of which we can describe a number, there's companies like Tala, which is a woman-founded startup that's partnered with Visa to use USDC for remittances. The proposition ultimately is that sending digital currency payments is no different than sending data. Of course, subject to financial crime compliance and subject to the appropriate, guardrails around protecting the financial system. But nonetheless, the value proposition is a fundamentally lower cost transfer of value on the internet.
Thank you. Ms. Goldstein, I'm curious. You indicated that the actual cost per transaction was probably greater in this particular case. It seems to be a discrepancy here between your opinion on it and Mr. Disparte. Can you share with us why you think it's more expensive in this particular case?
Sure, Senator Rounds. I think it has to do with whether or not you are going to use the USDC coin to purchase other crypto. Are you going to keep it in this closed crypto ecosystem and just use it to buy something else? My point is, if you're using it for remittances, if you're sending it to another country, chances are you can't go to your local grocery store and use USDC to buy some milk. You're going to need to convert it to your local currency. There's also a fee when, say I want to send something overseas. I need to send it to somebody else's wallet. To do that, the USDC coin, it runs on lots of blockchains, but the predominant blockchain is the Ethereum one. There's an ERC20 token standard that they use to do that. The Ethereum network fees are incredibly high. It can cost $10, it can cost $20. I've seen it as high as $40 just to send it from my wallet to somebody else's wallet. And then once it gets to their wallet, if they're not going to use USDC to buy milk from the local grocery store, they need to convert it to the local currency. That involves putting it on an exchange. There may be a fee to trade it back to their local currency, and then they need to get it into their bank so they can pay for the milk at the grocery store, and that may also include a fee. So it has to do with, do you need to bring it back to fiat, or can you keep it within this closed crypto ecosystem? I think that's where you see the disparity. Thank you.
Mr. Disparte, I'm going to give you a chance to respond. What's your analysis of what you just
said? So thank you for the opportunity, Senator. The quick version of this is early blockchains are a little bit akin to dial-up internet. And the argument to ban the stablecoin innovation because the current experience on certain early blockchains may be a little slower, a little cost prohibitive, ignores the fact that the innovation isn't standing still. They're late generation blockchains, third generation blockchains that are approaching transaction throughput akin to major credit card networks and approaching cost structures on pennies on the dollar for value transfer.
Thank you. My time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Rounds. On behalf of Chairman Brown, let me recognize Senator Daines.
Senator Reid, thank you. Stablecoin policy.